Word on the internet streets, and I do believe that it's been confirmed, not directly by Glock, but by some Glock distributors and some people in the Glock organization who are talking to certain people in the gun space, if you will. Glock has discontinued all Glock models except for the Glock 48, the 43, and the 43X. Okay, so the slim line models have not been discontinued. Okay, reason why? Glock switches, which Glock never made. It was made by some guy, I forget his name, but I believe it was made. The Glock switch was invented in the 80s or early 90s. It was never associated with Glock Incorporated. It was never endorsed by Glock. And now you have people 3D printing the Glock switch in a lot of states, Maryland included, which is where I'm from, Maryland. California has banned Glock. You have cities, Baltimore, the city of Baltimore has sued Glock. I believe Portland, it's Glock is being sued by all the anti-gun states, right? And I think Glock is just getting ahead of this. Glock is jumping ahead of it. So they've discontinued all Glock models, right? So including, and I'm an unapologetic Glock fanboy. Anybody who knows me knows I love Glock, right? So all of the Gen 3, Gen 4, Gen 5 Glock models are discontinued, except for the slimline models, right? Why? The Glock switch. So if you take, let's see, I got this little 43 here, right? You look at this little cutout. Well, this is a slimline model, so that doesn't count. I'm sorry. Let me see. Where's, okay. So this is, nope, that don't count either. What do we got? All right. Okay, let's go with this one, right? The little cutout in the back here, right? If you see that, the Glocks that have the little cutout right there, if you look over here, it's got the little cutout. You can take the base plate off, the back plate off of there, and you put the Glock switch on there, which turns the Glock into basically a machine gun. Now, I know what you're saying. Machine guns are already illegal. Exactly. But the anti-gun states and anti-gun politicians and anti-gun governors and anti-gun mayors are blaming Glock for this. So Glock's getting ahead of it. Something that SIG did not do, right? Glock is basically discontinuing all the models, and they're coming out with what they're calling the Glock V models, right? So it's going to be, from what I understand, it's going to be in place of the plastic tab right here, right? Place of the plastic tab that I'll show you on this 19X, right? This is unloaded, but I'm not going to keep unloaded. See right there where it has the frame is basically coming up into the space, where it has the FDE part coming up in there. So that part is, from what I understand, is going to be metal from now on. Okay? The Glock V models is going to be metal, so you can't put a Glock switch in there. Okay? So you can't convert it into a machine gun. It can't be easily converted into a machine gun, right? Which is the argument of the anti-gunners and these anti-gun governors and mayors around the United States. It's easily converted into a machine gun, okay? You won't be able to do that moving forward, right? Now, I think, personally, that this is going to be the precursor to the Gen 6. If they haven't already started, they've obviously already started making a Gen 6. The Gen 6 is a done deal. It just hasn't come out yet. Glock will discontinue all models for sale on November 30th, 2025, okay? After November 30th, 2025, you're not going to be able to get Glocks as you know it, right? Other than the 43, 43X, and the 48. The Glock V models will not be MOS. They're not going to be MOS in the beginning, right? Of course, they're going to do MOS at some point. But I believe the MOS system is changed because the new 43X that looks like the 19X MOS has a new MOS system. Okay, it's not the same as the old MOS system, right, or the current MOS system. They changed it, and my opinion is the new Gen 6s are going to be that new MOS system, and also have the V system on the back of the slide, right? So you can't convert it, right? And the reason why I think they're doing this is because, like I said, they're getting ahead of this, right? All the anti-guns, oh, you can readily, no, well, guess what? It can't be converted to a machine gun anymore, right? Because you have to register a machine gun, and you can't register new machine guns, right? Because there's a law that says you can't register new machine guns made after, I believe, 1984. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's the year 1984. You can't, any machine gun after 1984, you can't basically own, right? Or transfer. I'm not a lawyer. I don't claim to be. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me. But I think Glock is getting ahead of this. The Gen 6s are going to be a mesh of the Glock V system and the new MOS system. And I believe that sometime I would bet that SHOT Show 2026 they're gonna debut the Gen 6 Glocks. That would be my guess. SHOT Show is literally like around the corner. I mean, we're at almost the end of October. The Glock models are being sold up until the end of November, right? You got December, springboard into the holidays, and then boom, SHOT Show, right? I think I would bet money that the Gen 6s are coming, and they're going to be debuted at SHOT Show 2026, right? So they've already discontinued the Glock 17, right? Glock 17 has been replaced by the Glock 47. Okay. Here I have Glock 32 discontinued. Right? Glock 48. Glock 48 still in the running. Right? Glock 43 still in the running. 19X, so long. Arrivederci. Right? No, I'm sorry. This is a Glock 19. I'm sorry. Glock 19, gone. Glock 32, adios. Glock 32, 357 SIG, adios. Right? I don't know. I didn't hear anything specifically about the Glock 42, right? I don't know what they're doing with the Glock 42. But I got mine. I got a bunch of, like, you know, I got the big boys too. I got the this one is, what's this? This is the 2145 ACP Gen 5, right? MOS, gone. What we got here? The 20 Gen 5 MOS, gone. Right? So, big news coming out of the gun world. Glock, the big boy on the block, big man on campus, is discontinuing all of the models except for the slim line. Now, I don't have one of the new 43Xs, the ones that look like the 19X MOS. I definitely need one for the collection. So, you know, we'll see what happens. I'm not really in a rush to get. I'm not pressed about getting one, to be honest with you, because I have a 43 already, and I really don't need another one. I just want it just because I like the color of it. You know what I mean? So, but I don't really need it. I have a 43. I got a 48. You know, so. But yeah, look, if you want one of the Glocks, 19 MOS, Glock 19 MOS, 19X MOS, 17 Gen 5s are still out there. I've seen them. If you want a Glock, period, other than a 48 or 43, 43X, you better get it while you can get it, because come like November, those prices are gonna be through the roof. It's like a Glock 19 might cost you $2,000 if you want one. So I say, if you want it, you better get in there. Oh, war torn Victos gloves. I love these things, right? I have this is like my second pair of Victos gloves. I love these things. I don't wear them that often, but you know, gotta love these things. But yeah, I would definitely say, and listen, if you can find a Glock 17 out there, get a Glock. I say get a Glock 17 because this is like, go to war type gun right here. Like you can't go wrong. I understand, they got the 47 now. You could make a bunch of guns out of the 47. You could do the 19, the 17. Listen, I have a 19, right? I got a 17. I got a 34 around here somewhere. I got them all, right? I got them all. I got them all. So, but if you want a Glock, if you've been thinking about buying a Glock, if you don't own a Glock, get one now before it's too late because they are discontinued. It's a done deal. I don't know if Glock bowed to political pressure. I'm not going to say they bowed to political pressure. I just think with all the lawsuits and everything, Glock is just getting ahead of it. And they're like, hey, we're snatching them away and we're going to replace them with something else. It's just a redesign. It's a redesign. All the people say, oh, Glock doesn't do anything new. I think Glock has got some new stuff coming, in my opinion. Glock is about to reclaim the market. I mean, they've already gained so much with the whole SIG debacle with the 320. And, so many law enforcement and military agencies have gone to the Glock Koa, which is why we can't get Glock Koa. And maybe they pulled the Glock Koa from the civilian market because they were already planning to do what they're doing right now as far as yanking all of the, the handguns, right? Got that Glock Perfection shirt on. Glock Perfection. But the Glock Koa, I also believe we're going to, sometime, I'd say sometime in 2026, the Glock Koa is going to start rolling back around for the civilian market in the form of the Gen 6s or the Glock V, right? I think that's what's going to happen because I definitely want a Koa. I was trying desperately to get a Glock 47 Koa before they discontinued and pulled those from the market. Well, not discontinued, but they pulled them from the civilian market. I could not get a Glock 47 Koa to save my life. I saw the Glock 19 and the 43 Koa at my local FFL. And now, in hindsight, I wish I would have just grabbed it. But I have like two Glock 19s. I got the 43X. So I really wanted the 47 just because I don't own one and it was a Koa. But before I could get one, they yanked it from the civilian world. So when they reintroduced the 47 Koa for civilians, I'm definitely going to get one. Definitely. And that might just possibly be my last Glock. Because like I said, I've got two 19s. I got a Gen 4 and a Gen 5 Glock 19, right? I've got a Gen 4, Gen 5 26. All my Gen 5s are MOS, right? I've got Gen 5 Glock 21 45 ACP MOS. I got the Glock 20 Gen 5 MOS. I got 17 MOS, Gen 5, 48 MOS, 43 MOS, Glock 32, which I'm going to have cut for RMR. I've got the 19X MOS, right? I have the 42 380 ACP, which I'm going to get cut for an optic. So after the 47 Koa, unless Glock comes out with something crazy new that's not already a part of the Glock lineup, I don't need another Glock, right? I don't need another Glock. So yeah, that's it. Unless I decide to buy a Glock just to Gucci it up, you know what I mean? Make some kind of Gucci Glock, which I'm not really into the whole Gucci Glock thing. So I've played around with the idea of it, but it's not really my thing. But we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. But certified Glock fanboy. No apologies. I don't apologize for being a Glock fanboy. The reliability is unmatched, right? Everyone's chasing Glock. Everybody and their mother who has a firearms manufacturing company, when the Glock Gen 3 patent expired, made a Glock. Everybody made a Glock, right? So If you want a Glock, I say just get a Glock, right? Get a Glock. Get a Glock. Get a Glock. Right? Get a Glock. Until next time, like, share, and subscribe.